What is going on, YouTube? Pass the Prop is back today. We have NBA and college basketball on the docket here for today's slate. Decent NBA spot. I think it's like 6 games. Not too bad. Some nice totals. A lot of back-to-backs. So we got to find the winners in those. Obviously, a huge college basketball slate. I'll have 2 plays there. Joined as always by my guys Stu. What's good, man?
Nothing much, slow start to the week for me. Definitely have been my least fun first half of a week for the NBA season so far. So I'm happy. I feel like I put a little, bad juju. We didn't come here on Monday, into the world. You hit your Scotty Barnes, and I've just been fiending to get back on here, give out some winning picks. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go. We got no case slate today. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Not amazing over in the NBA. That's obviously why you're supplementing us with some college basketball today. So I'm ready to go. A lot of good action on the board.
Yes, sir. Shout out Scotty, man. I know he plays tonight again against Luka. So shout out Scotty for call. I picked 2. I've done it twice on this triple double. He's actually hit it twice. I cashed at 2,500, and then last one was plus 1,000. So I'm assuming I didn't even look today what it is, but I can't imagine it's anywhere close to those lines. Grabbed it at 14.5 regular, and then obviously for rebounds and assists, and then grabbed the long shots there, which was on Monday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to put that in here. So I'm ready to make some money on the show today.
I got you for a second, though. I'm looking. We got 7-1 across the board for triple double, but on your guys, the Bet Rivers, they got 10-1 right now. So 10-1's pretty good. Like if you have Bet Rivers, I would play that 100%. And in fact, probably talk about it a little later. If you want to go crazy, Luka's birthday, I like the Luka and Scotty triple double today. Parlay them together. Obviously, that's insane. You know what I mean? But I feel like the vibes are very good for that one. Especially 10-1 is a good price for Scotty right there. So definitely, worth a bet in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I was talking to you this morning about my best ball lineups, and I have 2 of them with Scotty and Luka because I got the second pick like 3 out of my times, which is crazy. Out of 5 lineups that I made, was able to get those guys in a lot of them. So happy to have them, especially on a Scotty triple double week. It should be a fun game. Obviously, a pretty high total there as well. So a lot of good stuff to talk about here for sure.
Oh yeah. And then like you mentioned, obviously there's like 1,000 college basketball games today in addition to the NBA slate. So I'm definitely excited for it. A lot of good stuff. And hey, I don't know about you. Maybe any golf coming up, maybe you throw in a long shot.
Yeah, I probably won't be doing golf this week. I don't really like this one. I'll be waiting until we get a little bit closer to not having
there though. We're getting there.
It's getting there. And I'm trying to hit the links here soon. I was trying to on yesterday. It was 70 degrees out here in Wisconsin. Today it is 40.
Yep.
And 21 with the wind. So yeah, it's that quick. It changes that fast, and on the weekend should be nice. So I'm excited to get after it here, and I guess we can get rolling right into it, Stu, because we got a lot to talk about. Got 6 or 7 of you guys in here right now trickling in. I got to make sure I get my tweet out there as well. Stu, what game are you looking forward to most today on this slate? I mean, we got a lot of close spreads. Yesterday, there was a lot of double-digit dogs. Today, not as much. These are pretty close games, and I'm obviously a lot of back-to-backs as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the obvious one is kind of like the Lakers-Clippers battle. That'll be on primetime television. But I think for me, the West Coast matchup before that is going to be very interesting with the Kings and the Nuggets, right? These 2 teams have obviously, or these 2 teams have squared off 3 times already so far this year. And obviously with these cores, these guys have faced each other a lot. So they're pretty familiar with each other. My thing, man, whenever I watch the Kings and they play good teams, it's really bad. It's like really bad. And I want to pay a little bit more attention to that. I want to, kind of lock in tonight and really see how this Kings team handles, a tough matchup in Denver, because Denver is starting to look a little bit more like Denver right now. The defense a little bit more locked in. I think it's going to be a tough night for the Kings, but I'm very curious to follow how they handle adversity in the second half of the season, because it wasn't great in the first half, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think I like this Pacers matchup. I think that you have to assume 1 or 2 of the 3 guys for the Pelicans are out. Because why are they 7-point dogs?
Exactly.
Right? There's absolutely no reason to. I would assume BI sits, and I'm going to guess CJ probably does. Because Zion's been playing back-to-backs.
Yeah.
And I saw he came out with a questionable tag on him. But, man, dude, I can't imagine in what world are these guys 7-point favorites? They've been playing awful. Obviously, Matherin went off in the last game there. Halliburton looked like shit last game. I have no reason to want to back this team in a 7-point favorite spot, but you got to imagine some of them are sitting, which means obviously this is going to be a value game. Looking at maybe like a Herb Jones type of spot for me. Maybe I'll be looking at some Trey Murphy. Obviously coming off that 26-point performance last night, but I think I would lean there. Obviously, the Toronto and Dallas game will be a fun one, but I'd be surprised if they sit Zion, especially with this game being on ESPN too. Like this is a big game. Like this is the Wednesday night doubleheader that you always get, and you're following up with Lakers Clippers, bro. Like you're not. I can't imagine them sitting Zion here. I want to see him on national TV in a game that should be up and down. Give him 36. This boy's about to go crazy. If you got to sit him Friday or Saturday, right? Let him play in this one. I think this would be a fun game. And I know they care a lot about his health and stuff, but he's looked really, really good lately, especially getting all those peripheral numbers as well.
Yeah, no, point Zion, right? Obviously kind of handling more of the assist load. I mean, for me, the biggest bummer with the Pelicans is like, it's not even just the starters are injured too. Like key guys like Dyson Daniels, who was a great defender on that second unit, was playing like 22 minutes a game. You know, you look now, Alvarado was suspended for a little bit. Like they're getting some pieces back now, but I agree. You look at that spread and you're just like, what have they done to earn being 7-point or, you know, that the spread being that big, I guess. So for me, I'm with you. That'll be an interesting one. I'm curious if Halliburton bounced back. I saw all of gambling Twitter was very mad he did not get his 12 assists the other day, which is a kind of funny thing to get mad about, in my opinion. Like 12 assists is such an insane number. Like I know he's normalized it because he's that good, but I don't know. For me, it would be like getting mad that like Tyreek Hill didn't get 150 yards. It's like, yeah, that doesn't happen very often. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I'm rooting for Halliburton. I'm hoping for a bounce back today. I think, you know, that should be a very entertaining game. Hopefully we get some pace as well. You know, Pelicans can be really slow and boring at times.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I think it'll be interesting is Aaron Nesmith sat, which was one of my biggest things that I talked about in the Scotty Barnes article that I wrote, was you sit Nesmith and you ship Brown out, right? You shipped out Bruce Brown. Like, if you're sitting Nesmith and he's out with an injury, dude, they have no wing defenders at all. And you're not going to see Matherin run 30-plus minutes. Dude's like 24 to 26 minutes usually. And obviously when you sit Nesmith, your defense gets so bad, but also Matherin can pop off. I mean, if you're the Pacers, obviously you want to develop Matherin, but I can't imagine them wanting to play him 30 minutes and not have Nesmith out there because Nesmith is like the only dude who plays defense outside of maybe Miles Turner if a guy goes up for a jumper in the paint.
Yeah, no, Miles Turner, though, loves just kind of sitting over in the corner, you know, and, you know, going for a block every once in a while. But I agree, Nesmith is a huge impact on that team. And I don't know. I'm curious to see how this one goes. I don't have any bets in it right now, but I could definitely, I'm a sucker for like a Larry Nance, you know what I mean? Like a little like 1.5 assist, you know, 1-3 kind of thing. So definitely something to look out for.
I love his blocks usually as well. But you also have Herb Jones, who's so damn good at it himself. But do want to talk about one other game before we get into, some plays here. We got Clippers at home against the Lakers. Assuming LeBron and AD play, LeBron has been nuclear. 55 and 62 fantasy points the last 2 games. Oh. He's questionable tonight. You got no Paul George on the other side. Clippers still laying 3.5. We didn't see even Westbrook play that much in that last game, which I thought was pretty crazy. They played Powell like 35 plus. Any spots here you think might be some value, thinking about maybe betting a side total, anything there? Because, I mean, for me, I don't know how AD doesn't just nuke these dudes.
Yeah, I mean, AD and Zubac are always really dependable because Zubac has to play because AD plays, you know? So it's not that, like, Zubac is great, but, like, he has to mirror his minute. So I always kind of see some value in his, like, double-double, his rebound and stuff like that. I think AD blocks is a very interesting look for a team that's going to be driving to the paint very frequently. No Paul George is an interesting thing you pointed out. I think if Paul George was in, I'd probably bet a Russ under in this game just because of the fact that I really don't like the rotations with him when they're healthy. But like even then, I think a lot of people might bet Russ because, you know, it was a shit year in LA. He obviously did not like it over there at all, and they didn't treat him well. So I see the narrative stuff, but for me, it just does not see, like Russ is like, he's a Hall of Famer. You know, I know he's a guy that can like dig deeper, I guess, you know, fuck a matchup, whatever, that kind of thing. But like, it's not a good matchup at all for him, you know? So depending on how high that number gets, even with these kind of rotations, Norman Powell's at 18.5 points for a reason. Like, I wouldn't have put him there. Absolutely not. I love Norman Powell. I've bet on him a lot this year, but I like him for 12 points in 22 minutes. You know, I don't want like to depend on him playing the full game out there, especially when Russ at any moment. I mean, they're competing for the same, and Amir Coffey's been playing a shit ton as well out there. So Terrence Mann, it's a big rotation. So for me, Russ unders could be something to take a look at when we get a little bit closer to game time.
Yeah, and I'm not talking shit on Powell, but we've seen a lot of these where you thrust a guy into the starting lineup and they are very good in their efficient minutes. Yep. Nick Richards, Okongwu, come to mind right away, where when you put them into that 30 to 35 minute role, they're just not as efficient because they're not used to having to play those extra minutes and they're not having their full legs under them. And they're just used to going out there, going ham for about 8-minute stints. And then when you make them go that fourth round, it's like, man, that's what makes the starters, man. The endurance, obviously, to continue to keep it going on those longer stints. Just something to bring up for sure there in that one. So, yeah, I don't have anything else on this so far, Stu. You got anything else you want to talk about before we get into some props and looking at some of the people in the chat here?
No, I think I'm good to go. Like I said, you know, a couple good games, but you know, nothing too crazy tonight.
Yep, we got Plus Money Bob popping in there early. That's why I'm going to let Stu go first because he does have our Plus Money spot here. Hey, congrats, man. We're happy to see that getting paid out like that. Good stuff. Stu, I'm going to kick it to you. We saw Plus Money Bob in here. You're the guy in here with Plus Money today. I got 2 college basketball spots. So since we're on NBA, I'll let you take it away here to start us off.
Sounds good. We're going to go to Max Strus, who is, I mean, he's been an interesting addition to this team. It was one that was scrutinized a lot. I remember even reading an article over on Action Network that said, I think it was like the worst contract of the summer or something like that. And I never really agreed with that because when you look at Cleveland, like they have all the pieces. They have the defense. It's a great defense. The real problem at the end of the day is if you focus all the energy on the world on stopping Donovan Mitchell from scoring, who's going to pick up that extra offensive load? You know, we love a Jared Allen, but all of his, you know, creation is made for him, right? It's the pick and roll. He's not a self-creator down there. Garland is great, but how can we depend on him, you know, or can we necessarily depend on him, you know, to win you a playoff series at this point? I don't know. You know, hopefully we're getting there. But I think the addition of all these outside shooters to space the floor, to have just here, all you have to do is be Max Strus. Catch and shoot threes. We're not asking anything crazy of you. Go out there and do your job. And he's going to benefit from very nice shot creation now that the whole healthy lineup is back, right? Garland is a great playmaker and has had the ball in his hands a lot more recently. Donovan Mitchell as an off-ball threat has insane gravity. You need to respect Donovan Mitchell as an off-ball threat more than almost anyone else in the NBA, right? So what that does is the shot quality for a guy like Max Strus becomes spectacular. And I think maybe the reason this line is only 1.5 is 26, 27 minutes these last 2 games. He still went over in 1 of 2 games, but like that's perfectly fine for me, right? At the expense of minutes, I'll take a huge upgrade in shot quality. And then now you're giving me the best matchup in basketball all year long. Catch and shoot threes versus the Bulls has been exactly what we've gone to because of Vucevic, right? Because of their defensive scheme, they have to prioritize keeping you out of the paint, and they're very, very good at it. And obviously there's, you know, you can't be perfect, right? There's going to be weaknesses in the defense, and we've seen all year long it's been those catch and shoot opportunities. Strus, I think, is the clear guy to go. There'll be some other catch and shoot opportunities for other guys on this team, but he has the highest volume. He leads the team in catch and shoot attempts per game. Coming in with some solid form, has some good history versus Chicago. For me, this is just kind of a no-brainer when he's at 2.5. It's minus 150 right now. My preferred parlay piece would be Alex Caruso Steele. As you guys know, that's been an absolute moneymaker for me, but they're not even listing any Alex Caruso props right now. He's not on the injury report either. So I don't know what's going on, fellas, but chop. Let's get that going. But I talked about it a little bit earlier. Denver has really been the only team I I really trust to add as a money line favorite in the NBA. It's not something I do very often, but I kind of covered it earlier. Like, I really have had a lot of success fading the Kings in some of these higher leverage situations against good teams. And when you break it down, right, I was kind of looking at the De'Aaron Fox under. He's going to have the KCP treatment, a little bit of Aaron Gordon out on the wing, and then obviously even off of the bench, like we talked about, the Peyton Watsons who've been playing extremely well, the Bronze, even though those small 20-minute, 18-minute windows aren't going to be fun for you. It's what I always like to say about the Miami Heat defense. If you're a point guard, you're getting 48 minutes of pain. It's not 26. It's not 30. It's not the starters. It's the full freaking game. And that's what it's going to be like here as well. When I look at it, Sabonis or Fox, neither of them have had great success in the past against the Nuggets. Sabonis rebounds, still clutch. Never going to hate on him for that. But to me, it's just not the best scoring opportunity for your stars. I think a Keegan Murray would have to really take over, like a kind of secondary, tertiary piece for that to happen. I like the direction the Nuggets are going in right now. Definitely like getting this at plus 125. I mean, Strus 2 threes, like that even being minus 150 is kind of crazy to me. So getting this at plus 125 over on ESPN bet is something, plus 124, sorry, is something that I would do 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of talk about too is like with Strus getting there and they're all healthy, you don't see Karis LeVert out there for those 30 minutes, right? He's the guy taking that bigger step back because you're not going to take off anything from, Mitchell. You're not going to take anything off of a healthy Mobley and Allen. He kind of fits perfect, dude. He literally does. He just fits perfectly into this team, sit outside, and then you have to create space because Donovan Mitchell was just getting suffocated in the paint when he would try to drive because they would just go right off of him. And obviously, Darius Garland and Mitchell obviously have playmaking ability. So I think it really works well for this team. And obviously a good matchup here as well with this Bulls side. I think I did look – Caruso did leave the game yesterday and then came back. So I would assume that they probably have to say something about him here soon. And we have Gripping coming in here. Do you have any thoughts on a Strus ladder? Is that something you want to look at, or is that more you just want to buy it down and roll at it there?
No, I like the Strus ladder. We'll talk about that a little bit later at the long shot portion of the show. There's some other three stuff I like as well, but I'm fully on board with it. Like you kind of mentioned, like even if the minutes are like 26, 27, I could still see 8 or 9 threes. It's really, are the first three going down? If not, we still can hit 1.5, no problem. But if the first two go down, then Max Strus is going to let it fly, right? The light is green. So for me, I definitely like the ladder. It's something I'll be playing tonight.
Awesome. Love it. I love it. All right. Well, unfortunately, I don't have an NBA play. I don't have any, but I will stick with the props to start off. To start it off, I have a team prop at a team total there for my second play. So I'll start off with a prop, kind of keep it with the pass the prop theme here, and roll with one. I've been loving these PRA props that they're giving us over on DraftKings. I'm going to go over to Mark Sears. We talked about Antonio Reeves on the show last time in an SEC Wednesday type of feel. And I love Mark Sears tonight. And I think it's the same thing I talked about with Antonio Reeves before. Kentucky at home, wagon. On the road, they're tough, right? Same thing with Bama. They're the best three-point shooting team at home in college basketball. This team is an absolute juggernaut offensively. They're number one in points per game. Obviously, that's nothing that we would not guess because they're number one in points per game and first half points per game. But they average 46 points in the first half at home, 42 at home or on the road. Then you look at them when you go full game, it's 95 points per game at home versus 86 on the road. They're in Ole Miss tonight. They're in Mississippi. I don't really trust Chris Beard's defense at all. I don't really think that it's what it used to be. And this Bama team is obviously number one in offensive efficiency for a reason. They're going to play fast. I mean, you look at some of these games, man, they are playing NBA type of style, right? Very few teams can do this. When you have the type of guys they have, you can, right? 99-81 against Auburn, 109-92 against LSU. They scored 100 on Texas A&M, 98-93 versus Florida, 117-95. That was their last 5 games. Like, their defense is horrendous, but offensively, right? We talk about these ball-dominant guards, these older guys. Mark Sears on the road is actually better, and it's because the other dudes struggle. They struggle going away, and that's a lot of college players, but when you look at a Sears, you look like a Reeves, you look at Dalton Connect, all of these dudes that are really, really good, they can play anywhere. They don't give a shit. They're that good, right? And you look at Mark Sears' home road splits, right? I'll tell you the other top 2 scorers, what their numbers look like, but he's averaging 19 a game at home. He's averaging 22 on the road with 4.5 assists and 4 rebounds, right? He's also playing 5 extra minutes. He's playing 35 minutes. This guy barely comes off the court. And that's obviously important here when you're taking a PRA, when you're only playing in, a 40-minute game, right? But also, let's look at these other dudes, right? Because especially with Sears, he's shooting 44% from 3 on the road versus 45 at home, which obviously both of those are very good. 89% from the free throw line, right? Those are guys I want to back, right? Especially in this spot. But let's look at these other dudes. The first guy I want to talk about is Grant Nelson. Obviously, he's only 1 point difference home road. He's 10% worse from 3-point line. 10% worse. That is not a guy I want to back in a tough spot here, especially after getting mauled in their last game against Kentucky, right? Then you go over to Estrada, right? The number 2 scorer on this team. He's 3 points worse on the road, 14 versus 11, right? That is huge. This team is wanting to run with pace. Mark Sears is literally the entire thing that keeps these guys cooking, right? They want to play fast. You got to have a point guard that can control the offense. And, hey, shooting 45% from 3 ain't bad either. So sign me up for Mark Sears. Just talked about all of those numbers there. If you want to look at just everything else, we've seen a game where he's hit this number where he's only scored 17 points. Against Florida, he almost triple-doubled with 17, 7, and 8. Then you go down the road, Texas A&M, 23, 4, and 4. He has an 8-rebound upside in LSU, 9 rebounds against Auburn. You want to go to assists? He dropped 8 assists against Florida. All of these numbers can pop off. He also could just drop 30 actual points, and I wouldn't even blink an eye at it. I'm all in on Mark Sears tonight. I think he goes absolutely crazy. You need this win, Bama. You just got absolutely dismantled and looked like shit against Kentucky, dropping 120 on your head. 117.95. I think Sears comes out here, senior guy, and just absolutely puts on a clinic. So sign me up for Mark Sears.
Yeah, I like what you've been saying a lot about the home road splits and stuff, because as an NBA bettor, that it's in our calculations, but not as much, right? I mean, these are pro athletes, but you're right when you point out. I mean, the extreme splits you see in college, especially the home road stuff with like freshmen and younger guys, it's kind of insane. So to have a guy that the sports books, like, these just aren't very efficient numbers, like it's just not really fully calculated into the number that we're seeing like a 5-minute workload increase on the road, so definitely like this look right here. 100% riding with you. Yeah.
And you rarely, I don't even know if I've seen it this year, see it in the 30s for points, rebounds, assists. Like even last night, I bet on Jaden Ledee. It was one of my VIP plays. Jaden Ledee, PRA over 29.5, gave me plus money. That's against the worst defense in that conference at home for them, dude. How do you not give this dude like 34? Like, I would have just taken 34 points rebounds. The dude ended up with 27 and 11. Like, they just don't put anybody up that high because, it's obviously a shorter game and stuff. But when these dudes don't come off the floor, it makes it a little bit tougher to, like, put it there because you put it at 35, everybody's like, whoa, you don't see that number. The only guy I've seen really high up there like that, 33s, is like a Zach Edey. But when you have a guy like this, he's going to have the ball in his hands almost every time down the court. Anytime it touches him up top, hitting threes, right? It's just, I would definitely play this if you want this as well. Points, it would be the nice one that I would like to take there. I don't want to mess around with assists just because a lot of those assist opportunities are with guys who shoot significantly worse on the road, which I just said. So if I had to, I would take points. That would be my favorite one off of it. But also, I don't mind rebounds. The dude's a really good rebounding guard for only being about 6 feet, so 6'1". So I think he's a really good rebounding guard, and I would definitely like to play that as well if you can get a decent rebounding line. All right, I see something else just came in. Oh, we're good. All right. Let's go right into it. I'll go right into play number 2, and this will be my last play here. And I'm going to go to Youngstown, baby. My favorite. I do have a Youngstown State shirt because it says Penguins on it. And who has a better logo than the Penguins, bro? Youngstown State Penguins at home against Detroit Mercy. The probably worst team in college basketball. This team sucks, dude. Like really, 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 really bad. Won one game this year so far. But what I like to You look at all this stuff. You get a home game against Detroit Mercy. You also have senior night with 5 starting seniors, right? You have 5 starting seniors on this roster. Last home game, Horizon, and you're going to see a lot of these leagues. This is like the last game, right? A lot of these leagues, like the SEC and all those, they don't start their conference tournament for another week and a half or so. These guys are starting up next week, right? So this is like the last game. Youngstown needs to win. They're towards the top of the conference. I think they absolutely maul in the paint. I don't know how Detroit Mercy is going to slow down Ziggy Reed and DJ Burns, 6'7", 6'8", respectively. I don't see how they're slowing them down. If you want to look at their first matchup was 105-64. They put up 55 in the first half. And that was on the road against this team. Detroit Mercy is one of the worst defenses in the country. Looking at numbers in terms of first half scoring, they are 6th worst. You know who are worse than them? Denver, who I always love to play because they play overs. They're over basketball. Arkansas Pine Bluff, who we used to fade. I took Gonzaga team total over 106 against them, and they still hit it, right? BMI, who obviously I love to fade. You guys know that. But they're averaging 41 points per game allowed on the road. That is awful. Youngstown is playing fast as always. I love how they play basketball. They're scoring 38 points per game at home in the first half. I don't see how we get any matchups here in the paint for these guys. I think Youngstown State Penguins go berserk early on. I think they're trying to blow these dudes out in the first half. You might see them play about 10 minutes in the second half because they're going to be up huge. But sign me up. I like both full game and first half, but really, really like this first half number. I think this is a fair price, especially against – dude, I bet you we find 3 guys in the chat, we're putting up 30 in the first half on these boys. I'm telling you, these guys don't play any defense, man. They used to have Antoine Davis, who I believe was like number 3 all time in scoring in NCAA history because he was their only player and kept them in games. Well, guess what? He ain't there anymore. And this team is still bad on defense. So I love the Penguins today. I'll probably be repping my Penguin shirt because they're going to go crazy on these boys. Obviously, towards the top of the conference, want to get that 1 seed as well. So Penguin time, baby. Let's go.
So when I go to check the score at halftime to see if we won this bet, is it going to be like a football score? Is it going to be like 42-24 or something like that? Is that how it's going to go? Like, what's the spread in the first half?
I don't know. I didn't look at the first half spread just because I just love fading this Detroit team so much. Like, Detroit doesn't play that fast, but they're the 3rd worst defense. And Youngstown will push pace. And I've said it on the show before. I like these teams at home to control the pace more often than not, especially when Youngstown's a top 100 pace team. They're right outside the top 100 in terms of adjusted offense. I'll be counting these towards my YouTube play of the day numbers as well. So I'm hoping that these ones give me another sweep. We went 2-0 yesterday. I'm feeling pretty good about these spots too. I really like this Youngstown State spot.
Ooh, I like it a lot. I like what the tidbit you mentioned about the 5 seniors as well, like senior night, a little home crowd, show off, like full energy, get the boys their flowers, before they head to the tournament. So I'm with it. I'm locked. I mean, I might look for some alt lines too, like even, I don't know. Can you go under and like parlay as well? Like, can I go to 35 and parlay with something? Like,
I don't think so. Not with first half team totals.
Figured.
I mean, if you're going to bet it, I mean, you might as well just, if you think they're going to blow them out, just take the alt spread. I know they offer those. I don't think they offer alternate first half spreads
probably not.
Until like an hour or so before. So you'd have to like wait a little bit, but I'm loving these spots today.
Hell yeah. And I doubt there'll be any props, but I'll look for them. And
no, they will not give you props in this game. No. I don't think there's been a prop line since Antoine Davis left there, and they would give you like 29.5 on his points line, which is just, again, absurd.
Yeah, I remember I got roasted for not knowing what Detroit Mercy was last year in the chat when that was going on. So look who's laughing now. They suck.
Yeah. Well, no, dude, without him last year, I don't even think they would win 2 games, dude. And I love how he always tweets about him like, hey, they just got their first win. Like, good job, boys. I'm like, oh, God, dude. Alternate first half spread is out on FanDuel. I assume they don't have alternate team totals, but you might get that over there. I know DraftKings takes a little while to do the alternate spread, which is tough because you can't get first half team totals on FanDuel. You can only get them on DraftKings.
Yeah.
But they give you the alt spreads on FanDuel way before they do on DraftKings. So it's less like you gotta play around a little bit and hopefully have access to both to get the full value out of it.
Yeah, well, I play my college basketball offshore, so I don't get any options at all. They're like, "Oh, you want to bet Youngstown State? Here's $50 limits. There you go." It's in the other basketball category.
Really? Dude, that's a big game, bro.
Well,
It's
this one might
Horizon.
not be. I haven't checked this one, but some of your ones in the past have been for sure in the
Interesting.
other basketball category, which is like, what am I going to do with the $50 limit? You know what I mean? They just don't even list it at that point. But hopefully this one's a little bigger. We'll see. I say bet online, and those guys will help me out. If not, just the numbers are never the best over there.
Yeah, Horizon's big enough, I assume, to get you on these. But all right, let's do our recap. I know you talked about long shots already there, Stu. So I'll let you start us off with a recap here.
Sounds good. Started off plus money, baby, for my only NBA spot of the day so far. We're going Max Strus, 2 threes, the Nuggets money line plus 124 over on ESPN Bet.
Beautiful. I'll be playing Mark Sears of Alabama over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists at minus 120 on DraftKings. And the Youngstown State Penguins, baby, first half team total over 41.5 at minus 115. 26 of you guys in here live with us 30 minutes in. Right about to get into some long shots. Hit that like button, please. I haven't checked. We're going to have to check on how many likes we got. Hopefully it's at that 20 mark. I think you guys can get us there. Stu, we didn't talk about long shots prior. I'm assuming you got one. What do you got for us?
Yeah, my real problem is I just have like a bunch of them already. You know, I got a bunch of them. So for me, we'll cross out Max Strus because I already played that as my main play, and I want to mix it up a little bit. But I will say, for anyone still watching, whenever Caruso steals go up, I love laddering Strus threes, and then I love adding in like Caruso 2 steals as well. I think Caruso is going to be super needed tonight. If he doesn't end up playing, Javon Carter steal is a very under the radar thing that I will be playing. Add a little 2 steals to Max Strus 4 threes. I like in a little bit of plus money right there. So just want to shout that out. I like combining the defense and the shooter on one side because, you know, if Caruso's given Mitchell and Garland a hard time, it's going to be more kickouts, right? More steals, more outside shots. So it's kind of some loosely veiled correlation, but I do like both individually a lot. For me, we'll go one that you will not be expecting whatsoever right here. We're going to go Tim Hardaway Jr. to have 4 threes at plus 425. The reason I like this is Dallas has a really crowded rotation right now. And when I look at it, especially after last night, with how many minutes all these starters played, one, I could see someone sitting. I know no one likes to say this, blah, 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 Luka birthday, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. I could definitely see someone sitting tonight, which would suddenly give us extreme CLV. But even outside of that, there's been one team that has emerged as a better catch and shoot option in February than the Bulls, who have been the worst in basketball all year long. And we're looking at them. It's the Raptors, baby. Since they're going young, you know, they're playing better. They got a new core. You know, they're pushing towards the future. Obviously, Siakam out of there. The catch and shoot numbers have been the worst in the league since the start of February, since we've made all these changes. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Josh Green are going to be the 2 guys that benefit the most. The problem is I love Josh Green. He doesn't shoot the ball. I like him. He's a versatile player. If you give the ball to Tim Hardaway and he makes the first one, we're getting 11 tonight. It doesn't matter if he's playing 22 minutes, right? We've seen the minutes come down a little bit. So that's why the number is a little bit lower in general. But for me, that's still not accounting for the fact that this is a ride the hot hand kind of player. And with the big rotation where PJ played a shit ton of minutes last night, like I could see them going small ball. I don't think there's any reason you need to play big against the Raptors. I'm not sure we see a crazy amount of, Gafford or PJ, Lively. And I think we might see limited minutes from the centers. I think we could see more small ball on the outside. And for a team that is struggling versus catch and shoot threes and a team that's going to aggressively collapse on Luka, he's going to be wide open out there, even if it's only in 25 minutes. I think he's the guy that's going to be shooting. And guess what? Like I said, if he makes his first 2, we're going to be in it, baby. We're going to be in there for the rest of the game. So I also took 5 at plus 1,100, but that's a little bit, scarier. So 4, I think, is the safer number right here. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. to get it going against the Raptors. And whenever they add Grady Dick numbers as well, I'm going to add his threes as well because the guy just shoots threes, and he's actually been pretty good recently. So, and funny name as well. So there we go. The hard Dick combo tonight. Tim Hardaway Jr., Grady Dick, 4 threes. Let's ride.
Oh, shoot, dude.
I'm
looking here because there's 2 guys I really want, and they're not giving me their lines right now for long shot lines. I'm in college basketball right now. Damn, dude. They're not giving me – so one of the guys I'm looking for, I'll kind of give you kind of what you guys were saying before. I want to bet on. Oh God, I gotta say this guy's name right. All right, Fardaws Amac. I want to bet on him tonight. He's from California. He's on Cal's team. He's a forward/center. They kind of run him as a little bit type of Nikola Jokic type of vibe, right? That's kind of what he is. He's 7-footer. He can shoot. He can handle. Grabbed a bunch of boards. He's playing Colorado in Colorado tonight. He's going to have to show out if they want a chance in Colorado because they play so much better at home. I really want to play him tonight. They're giving me no long shot options on the points, rebounds, assists because I'm not trying to guess which one I like better here. But also, let's go crazy. Let's go crazy because FanDuel knows we're going for that money, so they limit how high they're going. I am going to go with my boy from Arizona. Let me pull up the exact number that they're going to give me, and I'm gonna go crazy on this number because it's I have to at this point. So my boy Omar Bello, the center for Arizona. I'm gonna go 15 rebounds tonight. I'm going 15 on draft or on FanDuel. They won't even give you anything higher than 12, and it's plus 108. Go give me that 15 at plus 330 right now on DK. 15 boards tonight against Arizona State. Arizona absolutely wiped out their in-state rival in that first matchup. They beat them 105-60. They just murked them. Now you get them away from home, which, dude, I'm telling you right now, Arizona is an absolute juggernaut at home. They're juggernaut. They're so good. Home road numbers are absurd. If you want to go down that road on points per game, like Arizona is towards the top, like in every statistical category at home. If you want to take 3-point shooting, blah, 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 all that. But I'm very intrigued to see that FanDuel is not even offering anything higher than 12. Like I thought they would like throw me up like a 14. I would want a 14, but DraftKings is giving me 15. It's the only one above 12 on market right now. Bello in their first matchup, he went for 15 and 11 in that first matchup in 21 and a half minutes. 21 and a half minutes. The spread's 11. Arizona has shot significantly worse on the road. Now they're going to be matching up in Arizona State. I think you're going to start seeing Arizona State, in a rivalry matchup. I think they're going to keep this a little bit closer as the spread indicates around 11 and a half. I don't think we're going to see Arizona shoot the lights out like they did in that first matchup. Arizona shot 40% from three, 57% from the field, 78% from the line. The true shooting numbers in that game were crazy. And I think we're going to see a ton of offensive rebounding opportunities for Bello. If we get what he normally plays in that 28 to 30-minute range, I think he could put up 20 and 20 tonight. I truly do, just on offensive rebounds, putbacks. And like I said, they're not going to have a true shooting game like this out there. I really don't think that you're going to see Arizona shoot like that. And they pulled the dogs off at the end of the game. And they still dropped 105. So I really, really like this spot for Bello. I wish they would give me like a 14 at like 260, but I'm going to be betting on Bello straight rebounds at 10.5 as well. I also want to play his points, rebounds, assists too as well. So I really like this spot because they don't offer point rebounds there. So really like this spot here for Mr. Omar Bello.
Yeah, I've never heard of it, but you hear him. But
Really?
you're talking into it right here.
Really?
Yeah, I like the analysis a lot right here. I don't watch any West Coast basketball. It starts at 10:30 at night. I watch.
Yeah. You're even. It's later even for you.
Yeah, like a little Kentucky or something every once in a while, maybe at the early 7 o'clock. But and my draft prospects, of course, But for me, like the analysis right there, I thought was killer. And I was just gonna ask you if you would play the 10.5 solo, but you obviously answered that already. I'm in. I like that a lot. Sounds like a great look.
Sorry, I auto-corrected because I bet on Brian Bello from the Red Sox. So my thing auto-corrected me to Bello. It's Ballo. It's Ballo. Okay. I knew that. Don't worry. Don't hate me. But I bet on Brian Bello enough on like over walks and over hits allowed enough where that's going to that's going to just auto-correct it because I've probably typed it in so many times because the dude just – a walking fade for me. This year, it'll probably be a little bit better. For walks, I would take his walk every game.
No, yeah, okay, I get that. I'm just saying, Bello is my most owned player in best ball this
No,
year.
no, no, no. I'm saying, dude, I bet on Brian. They were giving me like over 1.5 on walks.
Yeah.
Some of these, I would bet that every game, and I wouldn't even think twice about it, even if it was against a team who just swung at everything. I wouldn't even matter. So, like I said, I would take PRA at 27.5. I probably will bet that right now to go along with this long shot here as well. So, really like this slate. It's a really good slate, and Arizona's just hiding at the end of the night. Like everybody's gonna be looking at those SEC games. This one's a good spot.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. I found it on Prize Picks now. At first, did not. So definitely going to get that locked and loaded, ready to tail this one.
Yeah, 15 rebounds. Damn, dude. I think he could do it too. I mean, I think this is pretty reasonable for a guy like Bello. But all right, so you got anything else for the people? We still got 27 live viewers here with us. Anything else for the people here before we head out?
No, I mean, I think there'll be probably another play, maybe or two for me in the NBA. I gotta think about Russell Westbrook a little bit more, like I talked about early. See if we get some Alex Caruso line stuff like that. But if you want to keep up to date with all the NBA picks and every other sport for that fact, Monotone Football on Twitter, obviously, and you can join my free Discord as well. We'll be back here on Friday, as well as every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, going forward for Pass the Prop. We might have a very, very special guest coming in next week for an MLB Futures show that you guys should be excited for. I don't know about Justin. I'm in the drafts, baby. I got about 10 MLB best ball down. Like I said, 6 of them do have Bello in it. So let's make sure not to say anything negative about him for the rest of the year.
Hopefully you don't have on base percentage or whip in there because that dude's going to be in a 10 cat league, dude. I can't draft him, dude. Just destroys your whip and you just can't even do it.
No, it's just the like more basic like underdog scoring. It's you get money for Ks, money for innings, minus all the bad stuff, home runs, hits, all that. So I don't know. It'll be fun. A lot of MLB stuff should be coming around the corner soon. Futures. I'll probably have some NFL draft futures. I just played the Jets to draft an offensive lineman first at -160 earlier. I have a feeling that closes at like -500, -600 the closer we get. So if you want to keep up with all that stuff, just be following us both over on Twitter. Tons more free content to come.
Quick thing here. I want to see if you agree. I don't know why my gym continues to put ESPN on. They are just absolute fucking jokes. That channel is a fucking joke, dude. I know you. It is just a crime at how bad that is now. It's just an absolute joke. But I'm a huge Roma Dunes fan. Like, I bet on him almost every game. But I saw that Kuiper's hyping up him higher than Malik Neighbors, bro. I can't see that shit. I don't care. I am so high on Malik Neighbors, dude. If I could, I love him. I think he's damn near better than Harrison, to be honest, dude. That dude's an absolute savage. Like, I'm excited to watch him play, but I saw that. I'm like, dude, as a biggest Roma Dunes fan in the world, I'm like, how can you do that, bro? Malik Neighbors, I can't get him 3? You think he's the 3rd best receiver here, dude? Come on now. Not even close.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that there's a kind of clear drop off in tiers. I think, Neighbors is a lot closer, like you said, to Harrison than he is to Rome. And nothing against Rome as well. But I think when you just look at a wide receiver, that's like the whole package, right? Because when you draft a wide receiver that high, you're looking for like the elite ceiling. And for me, especially with how amazing Neighbors is about to test, by the way, he's going to blow up. It's probably going to be pro day, not combine. But whenever he runs the 40, he's going to kill it. Like it's gonna absolutely blow up. So I love it. The real question is just the thing I'm worried about. I actually like Neighbors so much that I'm praying the Giants don't draft him. Like that would be such a travesty because they're in a position where they could have 2 elite speed wide receivers, Jalen Hyatt and Malik Neighbors on the outside with a quarterback with the lowest ADOT in the league. Check down Daniel Jones. Like, don't do that to Neighbors. Let him cook somewhere. Chargers, do what's right. We don't need Brock Bowers. We don't need him. I like him. We don't need him. Neighbors, that's the pick right there. Don't go to the Giants. That's really all I ask. But I'm with you. I think Harrison is better. I think people have been making I think Harrison's just so well-rounded. I think like McCord, if he was any semblance of a quarterback, the gap would be a little bit bigger. But I think McCord being so bad showed off that Harrison can catch anything in like a 5-foot radius near him. So for me, whoever gets either of those 2 guys is going to be very, very happy. Probably not in Washington's cards, obviously. So it's a little bit of a bummer, obviously, get the quarterback. But those guys are going to be good for a long time. And I think Rome will too. I just don't think he's completely matchup proof. I think he needs to be in a system that complements him a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I just thought I'd say that, but yeah, that was my rant. ESPN is just a joke, bro. It's like so bad. Like
Yeah.
I can't even listen to it for more than 5 minutes without wanting to punch through the screen, dude. Like Mad Dog does not belong on TV, bro. He does not belong on TV. He is radio, bro. There's a reason. The dude looks like a fucking idiot. I can't watch, dude. It's so bad.
Well, here's the problem. Just keep Mad Dog on baseball. Like,
yeah, I know he doesn't know shit on anything else except for 1940 shit.
Yes.
Like, yeah, nobody else was alive yet, bro. Like, no one's gonna have a fucking opinion. It's 1940s, dude.
Yeah, but I watched Mad Dog my senior year of high school. He was like his MLB Network spot came on when I went home every single day. So I listened to Mad Dog every single day. So I do like Mad Dog. I got respect for him. But for me, ESPN is not the place. And stay to baseball. We don't need to hear him talk about anything else because all of his takes are just like clearly wrong. You know, it's not even like funny wrong. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't know what's going on wrong. They got like ESPN. I like the Mina Kimes, Dan Orlovsky, Ryan Clark show. I think they're like not even. I know Clark left, so I don't even know if that's.
Yeah, Clark's got his own thing because he couldn't deal with these fucking idiots.
Yeah, so prayers up for ESPN. You know, that's like you and me. Like I feel like we want to be part of the solution. You know what I mean? There's a lot of bad stuff in sports media right now. Hopefully, you know, guys like us in 10, 15 years will, you know, be taken over for him, and you know that'll be a thing of the past. That's the goal at the end of the day. So
yeah, get me off that Jason McIntyre shit. Get him off the air. Take off Whitlock. Take off Kim lady who just started roasting Cam Newton. And then Cam Newton ripped her apart. I'm like, dude, thank God. Just rip this chick out and just get her out. All those guys go, just leave, dude. Just cut the cord, get them out. I'm tired of it. So, all right, we have plays. You guys saw them. Again, we'll talk about them in a little bit. Sorry, my rant took over the show. I just couldn't do it, dude. I had to. I put 4 minutes of my life into watching that. And I didn't even have the volume on. I just had subtitles, and I still hated everybody on the show. That's how cringy and shitty they are. That I didn't even need to hear their voices to hate them. That's impressive.
Do we want to run the quick recap real quick one more time?
Yeah, we can. My rant ran long. All right, I'll go first here. I had Youngstown State first half team total. Mark Sears of Alabama, points, rebounds, assists at 29.5. And I'm going Omar Bello over on Arizona, facing off against Arizona State. 15 boards tonight, plus 330.
Sounds good. I got Max Strus 2 threes, Nuggets money line plus 124. Plus we're running the Strus ladder. Then we got Tim Hardaway 4 threes plus 425 tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I like the sound of that. Put me on that shit. I'll freaking rip people apart. I don't really give a shit. So, all right. Thank you, guys. Best of luck tonight. Got a ton of action. Obviously, we'll tweet this out and get all that stuff out ready for you guys. So, best of luck tonight. I know it's a huge slate, so don't go too crazy. But best of luck. I think we got some good spots. And we'll be back Friday, same time, to cash in a couple more with you. So have a good one. Good luck tonight, guys.